Oh, looks like I got a trick-or-treater. Oh, here we go. All right. Awesome. Hey, you having a good Halloween?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Here you go.
Oh.
Have a great night.
Okay.
I always give them comic books. Kids love comic books. Old comic books. They can't get enough of them. Hey. All right, come on in.
So.
Hey, what's up?
So.
Who are you supposed to be?
I'm a hip-hop devil.
A hip-hop devil? Ain't that something? You having a good Halloween, hip-hop devil?
Yep.
Cool. You ready for a trick-or-treat?
Yep.
Awesome. Here you go.
Yeet.
Yeah, Yeet. It's everyone's favorite independent comic.
What the heck are those doing?
Have a great holiday, kid. Wow. Can't wait to get home and read it, I guess. Oh, wow. Check out this one. Come on inside, trick-or-treater.
Okay.
Wow, what the heck are you... Oh, wait, hold on there. What are you supposed to be?
I'm Super Frankenstein.
Super Frankenstein? Oh, that's fantastic. Are you ready for a trick or treat, Super Frankenstein?
Yeah.
Okay, here you go. Here, right here. Don't you want this?
What the candy?
No, here, take this. It's an old comic. Little kids love old comics. Here you go, boy.
I'm a little girl.
That's the spirit. Happy Halloween. Oh, man. I do love me some candy. Hello, and welcome to Having a Drink with Mink. I'm your host, Jason Mink, and this evening I'll be having this drink. Welcome, folks. This is our very special Halloween edition. That's number 13 in our Having a Drink with Mink series. I'm pretty excited to be here. Hope you are too. Right off the bat, we're going to talk a little bit of Halloween news, and the biggest Halloween news is the Yeet Halloween special. That's right, 64 pages of Halloweeny goodness. With work by comics professionals like William Messner-Loebs, Tom Orzechowski, Fred Hembeck, as well as creators like Greta Fantini, Eric Luna Salazar, and myself, Dennis Miller, Kent Clark, and many others. 64 pages. It's hard to keep track of how many great creators are in this book. I can't recommend it enough, to be honest with you folks, and I'm not just saying that. It's a pleasure to be associated with such a fine product. There's some really great stories in here, and really brings the spooky as far as the Halloween action goes. There's still time to get your copy. If you're interested in having a copy of Yeet Presents 31, which features Storm Isle number 2, you can get your copy at the address below. By all means, check it out. You won't want to miss it. Next up, I'm going to look at a few spooky magazine covers because 'tis the season, isn't it? Right off the bat, I'm going to get things started off with some Dracula. What is it? That's a great question, and if you have a copy of this issue of Eerie magazine, I assume that the answer is somewhere inside. Next up, You gotta love this one if you're an aficionado of the horror movie, the spooky movie, the bad movie. Horror of Party Beach checks all of those boxes, and this magazine is a trip because it painfully takes you through the entire film, including the musical segments, which are rather odd with no music. But it's a great little book, and I was thrilled to finally get a copy of this. Next up, you asked for it, and Famous Monsters is determined to give it to you. Here, you got The Werewolf of London. Next up, for monsters only, if you have a copy of this magazine and you're not a monster, turn it in at your local monster headquarters, because kids, this stuff is dynamite right here. Take it from the Teenage Frankenstein. Next up, The Haunt of Horror, featuring Lilith, the son of Satan? No, I'm pretty sure that's his daughter, actually. I'd hate to get those two confused. Well, like I said, these Marvel books are pretty cool, and sometimes they push the borders, and this is one of those instances. It's a monster world, folks, and you're just living in it. And here's another fantastic ad for the Night Gallery posters. And these were actually posters of the paintings from the television show that the episodes were based on. So these things, I've seen them online, they go for a pretty penny. Imagine going back in time and just getting all of them, filling your room with them. Boy, wouldn't that be something. Next up, we have some beautiful Earl Norham artwork right here. It's the Tales of the Zombie, and people seem to get a kick out of this cover. It has a very Mrs. Robinson, kind of vibe. The Graduate, if you will. Dustin Hoffman, looking better than ever. Next up, we're going to move into the creepy world of the Erie pubs. And there were so many that I wanted to show you, but I forced myself to winnow it down to just a few, because heck, we don't want to be here all night. You got some trick-or-treating to do, don't you? Some Tales of Terror. It's got a Hoyt. Tales of Voodoo. I'm beginning to sense a theme here with the stakes and the impalement and the whatnot. Next up, this is a great one. Weird, as for being in the state that she's in, this young lady seems to be taking her predicament fairly well. Fairly well. And I always love this one. Really potent Witches' Tales cover. It's a bit on the minimalistic side, but that just makes it grab your eye a little more, to be honest with you. And then we're going to wrap up our spooky look at the magazines with chilling Tales of Horror. Moving on, let's talk a little bit about the Mighty Men and Monster Maker kit. That's what you're here for, isn't it? I know that's what I'm here for. Let's get right into it. Create scary monsters and super guys with a kit that'll give you the creeps. Hundreds, thousands, even millions of outrageous combinations. And I can attest to that, folks. I spent many a rainy day with Tony's Mighty Men and Monster Maker kit. This was released back in 1978 and actually features art from an up-and-coming creator, Dave Stevens. Interestingly enough, those of you who like The Rocketeer or just appreciate fine comics art in general will recognize that name. Dave was taken from us far too soon, but his legacy lives on, and let me tell you, as far as an artist goes, they would be well served to create something like this. Now, as a kid, I would have loved to have drawn like Kirby or Ditko. I wanted to be able to draw my own characters. I wanted to be able to draw my own comics, and I simply wasn't able to. Instead of being muscular and boldly proportioned, my Hulk looked like he was made out of balloons at a birthday party. My Spider-Man, the less said about his webs, the better. But with the Mighty Men and Monster Maker kit, I was able to create some truly impressive creatures, heroes with just a couple alterations of some tile and some crayons, paper, and a little bit of creativity. So that's enough balloon juice. Let's get right to the toy itself. Now, the Mighty Men and Monster Maker kit comes with this eye-catching black and purple frame, and the frame allows you to take the tiles that come with the set and assemble your own creation. Now, you have 18 tiles in total. You have 6 legs, you have 6 sets of torsos, and you have 6 heads. Each of these tiles is double-sided. Most of them have alternate heads, torsos, or legs that allow you to diversify your creations, although a few of them actually have texture patterns which allow you to add some color to your monsters and mighty men and replicate that old comics style. You also get a hard black crayon. This isn't your standard crayon. This is actually a harder wax that allows the detail to pop. And you also get a set of Mighty Men and Monster Maker colored pencils to add some color to your creations. So we'll put these out of the way, and we'll pop the frame up, and we'll just grab whatever's on top here. You take your head, you take a torso, you take a set of legs, and you pop them on in there, and then you take a handy piece of paper. Now, I would recommend some thin paper, something like tracing paper will give you the best effect. Even if you are using the hard black crayon, you want a thinner paper. This is copy paper, so we'll do the best we can. Basically, you're going to take the hard crayon and you're going to rub it across the image. Now, these plastic tiles are bas relief, so that means that the image is raised. And you rub your crayon across, voila! You truly have a mighty monster. This guy seems to have a demon head and sort of a Frankensteinish torso and some truly alien legs. In the distance we see a cool rocket. That's pretty fantastic. And if you want to make another one, well, they anticipated that. Well, we flip these pieces over. Make sure, oh, now see, this one has a texture on it. You can't necessarily see that. So we'll just choose this one, and we'll put that one back so we don't lose it. And we'll flip that one over. Ah, this one has texture as well. Gee, perhaps I should have planned this a little better. And we'll just throw that in there. I wanted it to be spontaneous, so it could be like you and I are doing it together, folks. So, next up, let's see what happens. Ah, that guy's cool. He's got kind of a Grandmaster sort of vibe. Holding a Flash Gordon ray pistol. Oh, those are some very shapely legs. He's making his way through space. That's right. So as you can see, you can make some pretty cool creations. They're not necessarily the first thing that you might consider making, but that's part of the fun, you know, is the juxtaposition of pieces that might not ordinarily go together. Let's do a few more, shall we? It's that simple, folks. It's that simple to have fun. Good, clean fun. Not that weird, perverted, big city fun that you're used to. The Mighty Men and Monster Maker kit is a pleasure, a singular pleasure. Here are some of my creations. I hope you enjoy them. I have a 12-issue maxi series coming up on the Old Guys Who Like Old Comics Network, and I'll certainly be letting you know where to get your issues for that. But in all honesty, man, I can't say enough about this thing. I've been waiting for months to talk to you guys about it because it's just so dang cool. As far as Halloween fun goes, you settle in, you have a Snickers bar, you get yourself some office paper, some pencils, and you have yourself some good old-fashioned fun. That's what I say. That's what we're all about here at the Old Guys Who Like Old Comics Network. I might as well wrap it up because I think I hear someone else knocking at the door. And gosh knows I don't want to disappoint those kids when it comes to giving them their trick-or-treats. If you enjoyed this particular episode, well, maybe consider buying a t-shirt. Why not? Here's the link. You check that on out. We actually have a number of different designs as well as options. Different stuff that may tantalize you. I see that the spirits are active this Halloween evening. So with that, I bid you adieu. For the Old Guys Who Like Old Comics Network, I'm Jason Mink, and I'm having this drink.